Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to be replacing the sticks on the RG556 with some new Gulikit sticks. And these are switch sticks. You could use regular switch sticks as well, and I'll leave a link in the description to those. I chose these ones because of the Hall effect part of it, so there's no stick drift, and if I'm going to be replacing these, I might as well. The difference between switch sticks and this for pricing on Amazon was about 12 Canadian dollars. This was 30 Canadian and the switch sticks were 18. So I just decided to just go with these ones. Now, the first question you might be wondering is why are we even replacing these sticks? And especially if you don't have this device yet, you probably don't know. So I'm just going to show you, and we're going to go over into joystick dead zones. And this is what stock currently looks like. So you see how it's snapping right to each corner like that? And if I try and go over into a corner, it pops right back. You don't really have a good range of motion in what you're doing. It always wants to snap to the 4 cardinal directions like it is here. It's a big cross, and it's not exactly great when you're trying to use them in certain video games. Like I was trying to play Cyberpunk and my character just kept wanting to go horizontally and vertically, and it was just a big disaster. So we don't want this. We don't want to be able to do this. The snapping back of how this all works, it's not really great. Otherwise, the sticks are fine. It's an improvement. So we're going to replace them. We're going to see what that improvement looks like. And I'm going to show you now what that looks like so you have an idea of what to get into. Okay, so I just finished installing our Gulikit sticks, and turns out that the actual box of what was included, you're not going to be using any of those except for this if you want to. I would suggest grabbing the iFixit kit because it has everything you need. And just so you know, it's the TR6 bit and the 000. Those are the two that I used for this whole project. Didn't really use anything else. You don't really need to use anything else. But those are the two. And so we have our 2 sticks in. Let's take a look and see now. So if I go left, right, same sort of idea, except now it gives me a lot more flexibility for range, and it feels a lot better on using it compared to the stock sticks. So it's a nice improvement over stock. And if we check this side too, same sort of idea. And you don't have to do anything once you actually connect the sticks. They are calibrated out of the box, so nothing you have to actually do, but looks like it works perfectly, and that's great to see. And we don't really need to do anything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually do the replacement. First thing we're going to do, obviously, is turn off the device, flip it over, and what I'm going to do, just because of what happens with the Steam Deck, is I'm just going to take the SD card out just in case. I don't think this is one of those scenarios where it'll get cracked in half like the Steam Deck does, but you never know. And otherwise, we are all set. And now we can go ahead and start removing the backplate. And now you just want to go ahead and unscrew each of them. So I did that one down there. We're going to go ahead and do this one next. And so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, it looks like. So there should be 7 screws in total that you'd be removing, and I don't see any other ones. So now we need to pop it off, and inside of the box, let's see if I can use this. So it comes with a little thing, and if you want to start at where the triggers are, you can pop it off like that. And I'm just using what the Gulikit came with. And you can just go slowly. You don't have to rush this part. Make sure the SD card slot is not. We are so close. There we go. All right. So we've removed it. We have not broken anything. Fantastic. Let's put it over to the side. And now we're in. And so the first thing we need to do is get rid of this heat shield because it is in the way. Looks like we might need the little 000. So at least for this end part here, we're going to go with a 000 at the top. Take that off, put it to the side. And there's another one here at the bottom. One over here. And over here, hidden on the left. Oh, there it is. Right, staring us in the face, right in the middle. Pop that out. And now we should be good. There we go. Right off. So put this over to the side. Let's unhook the battery first. So just in case, right over here, if you want to unhook the battery, just be careful. You don't want to break this. Just slowly get this white piece out. I don't have the nails for this, so I could use tools. Once again, you can just be careful and slow. There we go. And that's out. And the battery is, you could just remove it if you want. Put it over to the side. And now we are set like this. So let's go ahead and just going to check under this. I think we need access to this. Yeah. So that was holding in that. So just take off this little black piece. Just going to put it over to the side for now. And unhook these little ribbon cables. So I already did one. You can see it. Oops. You can already see that I did one. Just unhook this little ribbon cable, and to do so, you can just flick it up. There we go. So if you flick it up, and then just remove the ribbon cable, and you should be set. Now, we just need to unscrew. So just start unscrewing the screws that you see. So there's one. Put it away. 2. 3. 4. And one last one. 5. So 5 screws in total. All right, we need to remove the trigger screws too, which I didn't want to have to do, but I guess we have to do it. One more trigger screw, and we're going to just take off the entire trigger. There we go. Okay, so just flip that over, and now we have access to the stick right up there, and our trigger fell, but that's okay, we'll put it back. All right, and so now let's unscrew this trigger. There's just 2 screws, you can see them. 1. And 2. There's our trigger, our old trigger, at least. And so we can put that to the side. Here's our new trigger. And the best way that you're going to do this is just go like this and pop it in. So, because that matches up the screws, pop it right in like that, and you can see it. And now, just screw it back in with the same screws. And now you can close that up. That. Just make sure. Okay. So now we are back to having to put this on, the trigger. And trigger basically just goes in like that. But our R1 or LB fell out. So let's put that back in first. There we go. There's a little slot that it goes in. So just make sure that you do that. Then you can put the right trigger back, and we need to screw it in. I'll just keep track of where your screws are as you go through this process. It'll make it easier for you to know which screws are what. We are set, back to normal. And now we need to screw all this back in. But first, what we're going to do is slide these ribbon cables in. So just, this one is easy on the top, but let's start with this middle one because it's new. You got to fold it and then make sure that it's raised so that it can go in. And I'm going to show you it. You can see, I don't know if you can see how it's lifted? Just make sure it's lifted. And then you want to just try and get the ribbon inside. Okay. And then you can close it up. So you just push down on the black part and it closes it in. And now it's in and we are set. Now do the same thing for this other ribbon cable. Just on this one, make sure the black part is lifted up again. There we go. So it has to be lifted up first. And then just slide the ribbon cable in. And there we go. Once you're done, it should look like that. Now we can just screw back all of the screws. Okay, so we've screwed back all of these screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are here. And so we're set for this part. But what we're not set for is on the left side. So looks like there is heat sink and this whole board that kind of needs to come off to get onto this side. So we're just going to go slowly. And it looks like it's the same idea. We're going to have to take the triggers off. So let's just go do that first. Take it off. There we go. I'm going to keep all that together. And now we have access to this whole board. So let's try and make it easy. There is a screw in the bottom left. Let's get that one. Perfect. So I'm going to put that on the bottom there, and let's see where else there is one holding this whole thing together. There's a screw in the top right. It's a black screw. And scroll down. There is, we can leave that. There's a screw on the bottom left, right next to the USB-C. Okay, should be good to get rid of these two screws on the heatsink. Let's do that. One, two. Let's go ahead and remove fan screws. And the other heatsink screws. What we're going to do is unhook the, right down here, unhook that, and then just pop that cable out. So remember, lift the black thing and just pop the cable out. So we're going to have to do the same thing for down here. So I'm just going to unhook this little cable and make sure the black piece is lifted. And then you can just pop it out like that. What we're going to do is just unhook these fans, or unhook these ribbons. So 1, 2, and 3. All 3 unhooked. And when they're unhooked, you can just easily take them out. And there. Now let's just move it over to the side. And we can actually hit or access this. Holy. It takes a lot to get to that. Here's our new Gulikit. Let's go ahead and unscrew the stick. And now we have the stick again, and you can just go right in the spot, same as usual, and then screw it in. And if we take this and put it back, you want to slide this ribbon cable into, you can bend it a little bit and then slide it right through so it pops out. But, so just make sure we're not closing in on any of these ribbon cables. Popping out. And then you can slide this right back into the spot that it was. Should be pretty easy. And there we go. Now you just want to screw right back in all of the spots. So get a screw right at the top right, next to the USB-C slot. The little black screws are the heat sinks. Now you might have noticed that there was the CPU under here and it had some thermal paste and all of that, and we took this off. And now normally you would want to re-thermal paste that CPU. I'm kind of going to go by with the fact that I don't want to, and it would just be a disaster. If you want to do it while you have this, you could re-paste it, removing it, but I don't think it's super necessary. The general consensus is that anytime you take off a heatsink, you're supposed to do it, but I don't want to. I'm not going to do it. Let's go ahead and finish up. Remember, the trigger goes in a certain way. You don't want to force it. There is a hole that it goes in. There we go. And you can put the trigger back in the spot, right up there. And now we get to connect everything back. So let's go ahead and add these ribbons back. And remember, before sliding them in, make sure that the black piece is raised up so you're set. And then just do the same thing for these other ribbon cables. So I'm going to do this little small one here and do the same thing for these ribbon cables and make sure it just slides right in. Clamp it down. There we go. Right in. And clamp it down. And there. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and connect the battery back. So we're good. Actually, before the battery, there was that black piece of tape that we found. And that was in this little spot here. Just covering it up like that. So you can do the same thing. Just put it right back. But now the battery, we can reconnect. Just put it right in that slot and connect it. Slide it right in. And we are connected. Now we need to put the heat shield back on. Just be careful with this. There we go. It should kind of snap together. This was a screw here. Just going to look for the little screw holes. So black screw goes right here. Make sure the black screw goes top here. I'm trying to remember where this silver screw goes, but I'm pretty sure it was here on the cord. Yep, right over here. That's where that silver screw goes. Then we have two black screws left. One of the black screws goes here. Here's this bottom spot right here. Okay. We are all set. So just pop this back in. And it should clip. Just go around and just clip it in. There we go. And that's going to be it for this one. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully it helps you with even a teardown as well, in case you need to get to certain spots. But if you want to replace your sticks, then this gives you a good idea of what that process looks like. And I'd rate it as pretty difficult. So if you're going to be looking at doing this, it's a little bit higher on the difficulty scale. Still took me an hour to do, so it wasn't that long, but should help you if you want to get some better mileage out of your sticks. Just install the Gulikit ones, and I'll leave links in the description to everything. Other than that, don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow, and hope you all have a good one.